Robin on My Teacup. April, Part 1. The Blackbird's Eggs. Down a cinder path from our back door there is a little old brick shed, and inside there used to be a lavatory. Some people might remember earth closets, as I do. There was a scrubbed pine seat with a hole in. If you had a superior model, there were 2 holes. 2 of you could sit side by side. The seat has long gone, and the little closet is now called the potting shed, in memory of its original use. Here we now sow our seeds in trays and root our cuttings in plant pots on a work surface put up specially for the purpose. The door, almost off its rusty hinges, is slumped permanently open. The brick walls still show some of the original white paint, and there's a rusty nail sticking out, which it would have held cut-up squares of newspaper. I expect you know what they were for. The nail now holds seed packets. Very early last month, 2 blackbirds started to nest in our conifer hedge. I saw the female, much duller than the male, carrying dried grass and small twigs and moss. She worked for several days while her male counterpart flew about keeping guard. I don't know if they laid eggs, but after a while both birds disappeared. There are lots of predators on young birds' eggs and their nestlings. I didn't look for the nest because once I remember I found a robin's nest and I've regretted it ever since. I saw the robins taking hay into undergrowth, and after 2 weeks I saw them taking insects, and I began to search. And it wasn't long before I found the nest. I held my breath as I saw little skinny heads with black down sticking up on top. At my approach they simultaneously opened their big mouths, and I watched massive orange gapes waiting for food. Then I heard the parents tick, tick, and I know it was telling me to go away. As I went, I noticed I had trampled the soft herbage leading to the nest. I'd left a clear trail showing the way. It wasn't long before I heard the tick, tick again, and this time it was accompanied by the cackle of a magpie. I watched horrified as the magpie made a dive into the undergrowth. I ran, shouting and clapping, but I was too late. The magpie had raided the robin's nest. I decided there and then that I would never approach a bird's nest ever again, but I'd reckoned without our blackbirds. At least I imagine it's the same pair, because not long after they abandoned the conifer, the female was going backwards and forwards taking dried grass into our potting shed, and all the while the male, with his shiny black coat and bright yellow beak, kept guard. Now, when we go in to pot our plants or sow seeds, there on a shelf, amongst tumbling plant pots, cobwebs and old wicker baskets, is a blackbird's nest. They sit and watch our comings and goings, and we can't help seeing them. Sometimes the female's sitting, and sometimes it's the male. Sometimes they leave for a break, and there, just in front of us, are 4 beautiful blue smudged eggs. I expect they'll hatch any time now.